Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to talk about a new release that came out a few days ago. Uh, it's the new Metroid. Now, to tell you how I felt about it at first, they showed it in the 3DS Direct. I think it was at E3. It was one of the last things. It was like under the hood. They didn't even really reveal it, like make a blown out thing to talk about. They just kind of was like, yeah, we're just gonna kind of talk about this for a second and not really give it a lot of exposure. Um, I when I first saw it, it was like, oh, they're finally making a Metroid game. I was like, oh, but it's 2.5D. It's kind of 3D but 2D and like after playing AM2R, the fan remake, which was phenomenal, by the way. It was incredible. One of the best Metroids I've ever played. Uh, I was skeptical. And we heard more about the developer. It wasn't in-house Nintendo. It was Mercury Steam that was developing it, which I don't know anything about Mercury Steam. The only thing I know is that I heard that they did a Castlevania game. I think it's called Mirror of Fates for the 3DS, and everyone hated that game. It wasn't good. So I was kind of skeptical at them doing Metroid. I'm like, they're not probably not going to do it that great. And I actually wasn't interested in the game really. I was slightly, but not really. Um, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to get this. I think I'm good with AM2R. And I was like, yeah, they might fuck this up. But then I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait until it releases, and to see how Metroid fans feel about it. Like when it gets into their hands and see how they feel about it. Is it really worthy? Is it any good? Should I even bother? And I watched a few reviews and from people that I watch normally on YouTube, and people are loving it. So I said, "Fuck it," because I wasn't gonna get it, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy it. You know, if they make a good if they make good Metroid games, I want to support that because Metroid is a series that's dear to me, and it's one of the best series that Nintendo has and of all time. And if they make a good game that deserves your money, of course I'm going to support that. I want to show that. I want more Metroid games. You know, Metroid Prime 4 is coming for the Switch. I don't have a Switch. I don't care to get one. But if that comes out and it's really, really good, like it's really good, it gets super high scores and people are in love with it, my chance of getting a Switch increases. So anyways, we're here right now to talk about Metroid Samus Returns. This game right here. Now, I bought it and I played it for a while. I played it for a few hours. I tried to beat it in one sitting, but this game is long. Now keep in mind, this is gonna be a slash like talk about the game a little bit, my feelings on it, my nitpicks, whatnot. But this is going to be a review, but it's going to be a spoiler-free review. So don't worry about it. If you don't have the game yet, you haven't played it yet, don't worry. I'm not going to spoil anything in the game, so you don't have to worry. Um, the game, like I said, it is 2.5D, and I'm more of a fan of like sprite work and sprite art and backgrounds and actual 2D. I'm more of a fan of that. But I don't mind 2.5D unless it's done well. Like if it's done shittily and it doesn't look that great, then I'm just like whatever. I'd rather have just 2D with sprites. But to be completely honest with you, this game doesn't look bad. It looks pretty decent actually. A lot of the stuff, some of the animations, some of the colors, you know, the graphics and detail in general and the backgrounds and stuff, it looks fine. It looks fine for a 3DS game. I have no complaints on that. So, yeah, uh, I prefer 2D, but this is 2.5D that I don't mind. So this is good. The graphics are good. Um, the controls right off the bat, it feels spot on. It feels good to move Samus around to shoot. They have the new free aim where you can a whole 360-degree, like the whole, you use the analog to control her, and this is the first time for Metroid to ever do this. You can freely control where she aims, which is, it might seem weird at first, but trust me, it's really good, and it feels fluid. Especially, we're going to talk about the melee counter too, where you do a swipe when the enemies come at you, and you do a counter, and then you do a big shot burst that just kills them in one hit. You just have to fire once. You don't have to fire multiple times. Just shoot them, boom. That feels good because the screen shakes when it does it. It's really quick. It's not a long animation, and it's very fluid. So when you're doing that counter, and then you can like shoot the one you just knocked down in one hit, right? And then you can like hold your aim and just shoot anything that's around you, and it feels right. It feels fluid. It feels great. Don't worry about how the game will feel. It is perfect. It feels perfectly Metroid. The music, they use some remixes. I'm not going to talk about the remixes. I'm going to spoilers. Let's just say that it's good. The music is good. The ambience is good. Everything there is perfect. There's some spooky tracks and like some weird ambience. It perfectly fits the Metroid feel and atmosphere. So I have no complaints there. I'm playing this game, and I'm just like, this game is phenomenal. This game is fucking incredible. Like, I'd give it a 10, but there's some nitpicks I have with the game. There's some, I've heard from people complaints about it that I don't have a particular like complaint about. I mean, yeah, I guess you can say like the enemy, uh, like the creatures in the game. There's a few. There's like 8 to 10, and there's the Metroids and all that stuff, and the different stuff like that. And then there's like like there's a special boss, and there's a few like neat little treats that were nowhere in the original or even in AM2R, which are really good. There's some boss battles in this game that are really awesome. Like, they're events when they happen, and they're not easy. Like, sure, you get the patterns and everything, but what they expect you to do to keep from not taking damage and trying to figure it out is satisfying. It's really good, and Metroid fans are gonna love that. There's a few sequences in the game that are exciting, that are tough, and that'll challenge you, and it feels dangerous too, and it is. And but along with the danger comes like, hey, I haven't saved in a while. I probably should save it. Oh, I don't know if I can beat this fight. I have to try even harder to survive because I haven't saved in like an hour. I'll lose a lot of progress. In this game, saving, is not a thing in terms of like if you die. In this game, it's super fucking generous. Some of the fights can be tough. You will die a few times. But you'll notice that there's no penalty. It doesn't start you at the last save point or anything like that. Not even at a checkpoint. Literally, when you die, they start you outside of the door from where you died. So there's no penalty, which kind of takes away the challenge a little bit, and kind of takes away the dread and like having to really like save it a lot and everything. You're not gonna have to do that. Literally, the only reason why you would save in this game is to quit and turn off the game. That's like the only thing, because saving does nothing. It doesn't refill your energy or your missiles. That there's separate stations for that, but saving is just for when you want to turn the game off. But well, one in the case, like, make sure that it's charged and your 3DS doesn't die on you, or then you'll lose progress. But yeah, there's no penalty in that, which is I'm kind of mixed on that. One of the things I've noticed that is a staple for Metroid, when you get the wave beam in all the Metroid games, pretty much, or as specifically the Game Boy Advance ones, I think, when you shoot the walls, it reveals all of the things. Like, it reveals all the bomb things or the missile things that you need to use a missile on the wall or whatever. In this game, it doesn't do that. There's no actual way to reveal. There's one way, but that's late in the game. But the way that it's supposed to be, like the whole, using the wave beam on walls doesn't reveal. I got annoyed by that because it's like, why? It's like it was there from the beginning, and you should have like had that in there. That was one of the nitpicks I had because I know Metroid so well. I know all the quirks and the nuances that makes Metroid amazing. They skipped on that for some reason. I don't know why. Um, they do have new abilities in this game, the Aeon abilities. I'm not gonna get into all of them. I guess I could start with the default one is the scan pulse, which is essentially a lot of people are complaining about it because it makes the game too easy, or it's just like you don't have to try. But it's like it's not really making the game very easy because like yeah, you can scan the map and like it'll blink like in the environment there'll be walls that will be blinking that you could destroy potentially. um but it's optional. That's the thing, it's optional. You don't ever have to use it. It's just there if you want to. And what's amazing is that if you choose not to use it at all, you're freeing up Aeon meter, so you don't have to waste your meter on that, and you can use it for other things that are more helpful or more attuned to what you want to use. So yeah, like even though you reveal some of the map with the scan, doesn't mean you're gonna know how to do the thing, because it'll show something on the map, but you won't be able to do it right there, or you won't be able to destroy the wall. You might not have this certain ability, so it's not completely cheating. But it's just, what's better, just bombing everything at nauseum, every piece of every wall for like an hour, trying to find all the things, or just you're in a certain spot and you're just like, let me just scan right here really quick. I mean, all it really does is it cuts down on the monotony and the routine of bombing everything and the repetitiveness. I mean, some people think that's fun. Hell, I even think that's fun, just bombing everything, and I don't mind that. But it's just there for people that don't want to have to do that. That's all. Um, I won't really get into the other abilities. I'll just talk about that one because it's just right from the beginning, and it's a simple. It's not really a spoiler, so this is spoiler free. Um, but yeah, like the game just feels good. Mercury Steam, I will give them credit. They did an amazing job. Yeah, I have nitpicks about certain things about the game, but they're just nitpicks. Is my point. It's still an amazing game. Like I would give this a 10, but like other Metroid games do the nuances slightly better. That's all I'm gonna say. So for me, I just finished 100%ing this game, um, and I just finished it. I give it a solid 9. Now, a 9 is a high score. Like that's a game you don't want to skip. I'm telling you, Metroid fans, just play this game. Play it. Don't worry about, oh, it's 2.5D, it's blah blah blah. I don't know. I prefer this or that. You can prefer AM2R. Hell, if I had a choice, like if someone strapped me to a chair and I couldn't get out, and they were just like, answer this question and then you can leave. You have to only choose one. Which one would you want to play only? AM2R or Samus Returns? Of course I'm going to pick AM2R because it's the 2D, the lighting engine was amazing. The 10 years it took to make that game. That game slightly gets an edge over this one. But this game should not be ignored. This game is incredible. Um, I love the fact that some of them, when you fight some of the Metroids, there's certain tricks with the Metroids to do. There's like and the whole melee counter, which you think you'd say, well, it makes it too easy. The Metroids are super easy. No, that's just the beginning Metroids. That's just Form 1. When you get later in the game, the Metroids, when they do their hit so you can melee counter, they do it rarely and not much. Like there's like one Metroid that's on legs, and when he lands on the ground, that's when he has the potential to use his move so you can melee counter it. But sometimes he'll only do it once, and then he'll stay on the ground and do like 3 times like electricity charges at you, so where you can't, and it keeps you on your toes. So when you progress to fight the more the different forms of the Metroids, it gets tougher to do, and it just gets more exciting, to be honest. And when you get to the later stages, the fights get exciting, like what they expect you to do to survive. And this game, by any means, like I talked about the save thing and like how it's very forgiving, like it starts you outside the door. But in terms of surviving encounters, this is a challenging Metroid game, and that's why it's really good too. It's not a ballpark. Like when you take hits, you take fucking hits. Like you'll watch your energy meter deplete, and it's just gone. Like a few hits and you're dead. It's insane, and I love that. And the tougher Metroids later require a lot of patience, and you just have to be patient. You have to recognize the patterns, and you just have to stay alive. It's very tricky, but it's so satisfying when you beat them. It's super satisfying. And that's all I really want to say. I mean, what else can I talk about? If I talk about any more, then I'll be getting into spoiler territory. So I wanted to keep this spoiler free. So I didn't really talk about any spoilers, and that's what I wanted. This is for people that are maybe on the fence about getting it, and hell, even people that have never played a Metroid game before. I'd say give this a chance too. You might like it. It's really fun. The gameplay is the best part of this game. The gameplay is fluid. It feels good. The melee counter, adding with the free aim, when you play it well, it feels really good. Like I would love to have another Metroid game that has this. It's fan-fucking-tastic. Um, and I think it's an amazing game. I'm addicted to it. I'm obsessed with it. Um, so much that I mean I beat it, and this is a long game. It took me about 11 hours to beat this game. I got stuck a few times, but it's a long game, and you're gonna get your money's worth. And 100%ing it is tricky a little bit too. There's some new mechanics that the game doesn't tell you about. There's specifically one new mechanic that the game does not tell you about. I had to look up a video. There's people talking about how no one's gonna figure this out, so they explained it. Um, I'm not gonna get into detail about it, but I did name the ability myself, the new mechanic. I named it the spider bomb spark. Was it, or is the spider ball? No, spider bomb shine. I think it's spider bomb shine. I think because I was naming it different things. I was like, what's a good name for it? I think I called it the spider bomb shine. But essentially, that's all I'm gonna say. You can use your imagination for that. But one thing I want to mention, they use the grapple beam points in new ways that are very interesting. That is really cool. There's a few points that do this. It's really like some of the treasures too that you get. Some of the equipment is really neat. The way that they use it. Some of the level design for it is really cool. And just go get this game. Get it. I highly recommend it. This is a solid 9 for me. Play it. It's freaking amazing if you're on the fence. If you know Metroid 2, you know how it ends. So I don't have to talk about that really. But Mercury Steam has a little surprise at the end of the game. I didn't see this coming, and it was fucking epic. It blew my goddamn mind, and I loved it so much. Metroid fans are going to get a kick out of that. Let's just say that there's a deeper bond between Samus and the baby Metroid for a reason. And this takes place before Super Metroid, so that bond is even stronger. So when you play Super Metroid, it's like, wow, that happened, and that was fucking amazing. So what an amazing game. I loved it. Mercury Steam, you did a good job. It's not perfect, But does it have to be? I mean, I have nitpicks. There's some things that could be improved upon, but it's solid. They did an amazing job. So go get this game. It is freaking awesome. So, anyways, if you'll excuse me, I am going to do a hard mode run because I just can't stop thinking about this game and I want to constantly play it. So, anyways, guys, enjoy the game. I hope you get it, and until next time.